Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen, Hammerhand, the MGTOW Monk, back at you one more time. Yo, man, I'm on the way to work. Get around that big ass chuck hole. Thinking to myself, I see a shit ton of resistance out here to people like myself that want to help men free themselves, that want to help men avoid and escape the bonds, the chains of usury. And I do sit down and think to myself occasionally, why? Why is there so much resistance to the idea of being free? Educating women as to how they are used and to how they engage in usury will get you nothing but a very active hornet's nest. And they all speak on it, and they have no issues with it. We got this chick here, what's her name? Jenny Mai. She's married to this rapper, right? All well-to-do. They're all snugged up and buttoned up and taken care of, and their money's straight. And yeah. You think she would have married him if he didn't have that money? You think she would have been on that show the other day? What was it? The Real what? The Real propaganda outlet. That's definitely for sure. She says, I make the choice to submit to my man when I go home. And you saw eyeballs all over the fucking broadcast rolling back in people's heads, and they started seizuring, and they just didn't like all that. And of course, the big fat one that has no real options other than the fact that she gets paid well was the loudest one, and you would expect that. Fat, loud, black woman with a big mouth? No, it never happens. Never. People are comfortable with their chains. They're comfortable with being slaves. It's the devil that they know. And they have no issues with that shit. And they will do anything to stay where they are. They will. They will do anything to keep that little bit of comfort. For everything that they have sacrificed to get that little bit of comfort, even if they live in misery, it's misery that's predictable. There's no change involved. You see what I'm saying? They're not having to move around. They're not having to hustle. They're not having to work for a living. Not any harder than it takes to go out to the mailbox and see if the check showed up. And this is the majority of people right now that are selling you out and selling your country down the river. It's not a partisan issue. It's not a political issue. Not so much in the context that I'm speaking about it. People are very comfortable with their chains. People are very comfortable being slaves. When you can convince somebody that it is in their benefit to go out, get a 40-hour-a-week job, pay health insurance, pay auto insurance, buy a car, travel to and from that job, put the gas in the fucking car. All of this is coming out of your pocket, including your time. When people buy into this notion, like me, right now, headed to work, you're stuck. And it really inconveniences the shit out of people to understand how stuck they are, how helpless they are. It is not beyond the scope of possibility to take a year or so, save your money, go out and buy a couple of acres, build you a little prefab home, and disconnect yourself from this bullshit. That is not an impossibility. Not at all. For somebody of any means whatsoever. But because people have so little now, and I'm not talking about material wealth, I'm talking about right here, the ability for people to think for themselves is almost gone. It's almost gone. It's almost history. It's not going to take more than another generation or so to completely wipe out that spirit. By that time, I'll be long dead. Hopefully. It's funny to me, and depressing, and interesting and fascinating how much people work, how they work their asses off. They work their fingers to the bone to hold on to next to nothing instead of taking 12 months and setting down 12 months worth of pay, biting the bullet for that long so that you could lay the foundation for the rest of your life and be a comfortable, well-to-do person. Would you still have to work? I mean, it's possible. It's possible that you might still have to actually go to a 9-to-5er or something of the like. But would you be able to do it with peace of mind? Probably. Pretty fucking funny shit. Funny in a depressing way, not in a ha-ha way. You know, what instigated this topic today is going through some of the red pill channels, going through some of the MGTOW channels, going through some of our dedicated monk brother channels, and seeing the whinging. These people that make these comments, that leave their 2 cents in that particular field, completely ignore the fact that these men are gone, that they've checked out, that they don't want nothing to do with this system as a part of their reality. They're making their own reality day by day, step by step. And they still feel the need to jump up in there and say, no, you can't have what you want. And if there's nothing else that I can do as this commenter, I'm going to leave this comment here to fuck with you. Or attempt to fuck with you. I think the vast majority of anybody that calls himself a red pillar, and anybody really in the manosphere, even the fucking PUAs and that type of ilk, I think even they are like, they just laugh that shit off because it doesn't really mean anything to them. But what you're getting the bare bones minimum from these people that can't really affect you. They can't do anything to you. They can't change your course of direction. They just want you to know that they are protesting the fact that you're making decisions on your own. And I do find that to be interesting. You know, these folks that dedicate so much time to telling you how wrong and incorrect you are, if they would just read the tea leaves, if they would just read in the description bar of 90% of these videos and say, MGTOW, Monk, Red Pillars, these guys have checked out, they're gone. You're talking to the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong people. And they still want to tell you that your decisions are invalid. Your decisions don't mean anything to them. Turn that air conditioner off. I don't actually need it. But yeah, I find that to be a fascinating frame of mind to be in, to be so concerned about the things that other people do, and so concerned about how you're not going to date the guy, right? Of course you're not. You don't have any interest in this man. If he come up and asked you out, you would tell him, no thanks, I'm not dating this year, or I'm a lesbian, or I'm in a committed relationship with somebody in the Philippines. You would say anything that you could say to get that guy away from you as fast as you could. But you still don't want him to go his own way. I find that interesting. And I also understand what it is, directly and indirectly, both of them at the same time. It is women that are running cover for other women that they don't even know. It's fascinating shit. Trying to demoralize the man that has made the decision, that has said, no, we're done. I'm cutting all of this shit off at the knees. No marriage, no cohabitation, no children, no usury, no contracts with the state. If I need to sign a license to marry you, it is corrupt from the start. If I can get hooked because we're having a sexual relationship and you live in your own house in a different province or a different state or a different neighborhood, and I can still be on the fucking hook for that, I'm not touching you. You have become, oh, it's too hot. Ooh, too hot to touch, man. Who's going to do that? Who's going to sign up for that? Not I. No, and don't think that this big motherfucker don't get asked. He gets asked. He gets hit on quite a bit. But I have to tell them the same thing that I tell everybody else. No thanks. I don't date. And I love that response. You don't date? What's the matter? Nothing's the matter. I just don't date. It's a pain in the ass. It's not worth my time. You know, there's too much to look after, too much to care for. I don't want to do that. You know, if I could have a nice casual relationship without the threat of being legally ensnared, I would consider it. And even then, after all of this, nah, what's the point? There's no point. Getting together and slapping bodies for a little bit, and then her going and reading or going outside and doing something else, and me sitting around doing the same thing that I always do, there's no point. It's just a useless, ridiculous, absurd waste of time. It's a waste of time. Wish I had thought this way when I was 20. I really do. Could have saved myself a lot in every fucking metric. Gentlemen, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day out there. Please, please be wonderful human beings. And remember, every day above dirt is a good day.